nice and tidy, edited down video, but I have ways for you to make it faster. You can click that little gear on the YouTube settings right there on the video and adjust the playback speed, make me sound like a chipmunk, and it'll go a lot faster. You can also look and see if there's timestamps for this project in the description, and if you're on a desktop, you can hover over the time bar at the bottom of the screen and see if it's chunked up into chapters, and then that way you can go directly to the step you're looking for. And lastly, you can also tap on the screen on the right hand side of the video picture or on the left hand side to make the video jump ahead, forward or backward if you're on a mobile device. And you can adjust that amount in your settings so you can have complete control over how much it jumps. So if you are on a desktop, you can use the fast forward or the rewind, and that will make it go faster as well. You can also enable subtitles, and the little CC on the screen will enable closed captioning. That way, if I am a little bit harder to understand with that double playback speed, the subtitles might help you out. All right, well, I know that it's not a nice little edited video, but if you sew with me, we'll get there together and it'll be lots of fun. And now for the live stream. Happy sewing! Hello. Nice to see you all on a Wednesday. Nobody's working. No judgment. How's it going? Hi, Sydney. Hi, Aisha. Hey, Amy. Hey, Terry, Margaret. Hey, Shem. How are you all? It's hot here, but today it's cooler. Last night it was actually we could have the door open, which is great. Yay, and welcome. Working / chatting. Got a little hair on my eyelash. So usually in July we sew menswear. It's just my annual tradition because my husband's birthday is at the end of the month. And Hearts Fabric provided this project today. They're a Santa Cruz based fabric shop and they cater to garment sewists. And there's a code up here, right here, for 10% off of anything. You don't have to buy what I'm sewing today. And you know, it's funny, I bought this in person, or I picked up the projects in person, and usually they fill out a little sheet telling me about the fabric. And so I don't have I'm just realizing that we didn't do that. But this is a lightweight chambray. It's very linen feeling, like I'm sure this is 100% or linen cotton. It's very thin. I imagine this is like a 5 ounce. It's got that really cool selvage with the texture, you know, the little railroad stripe there. So I can probably find it on their website if you want to know more, and I can ask them too because they're good. They're good at identifying fabrics. So, oh man, Aisha, that's always a big project. Hi Raquel, how's it going? Nice to see you. Hi Michelle. Hi Eliza. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so we're sewing the Arbor shirt by Merchant and Mills. This is only my second pattern by Merchant and Mills. I like their stuff. I haven't sewn a lot only because of the sizes. I think before didn't go up very high, and that's probably why I didn't. I like the, you know, the vibe and the aesthetic. This is men's, obviously, and I'm going to be cutting and sewing the smallest size. So kind of the reverse. I feel like Wardrobe by Me patterns, I like the variety they have, but the sizing is kind of limited for men. It's kind of the reverse. So this time we are down here at the very bottom. I'm making the 34. So yeah, right, Shem, always. Chambray is always a given. I actually have, I think, I actually have 3 chambrays on my shelf. I always try and have some on my shelf for sure. Yeah, this is great. And look at the little selvage detail. So it's very lightweight. The 2 threads that they wove it with are a white and this is a navy blue. So it might look like it's a black, but it's definitely got a blue tinge, like a classic chambray. It could even be like a, no, I'm not gonna say that. So anyway, yeah, right. I know it'd be fun to use it, right, Terry? I don't know how I could in this. Maybe I could on the inner collar stand because we have a really interesting piece today. Maybe I could do that. That would be, oh, I really wouldn't catch much of it unless it's this edge. I can't even remember which way this goes. But that would be kind of cool. Oh, a loop. That's a great idea. Oh, please shout at me when I get to that point so I don't forget that. Okay, so there are some cool details with this shirt. We've made a lot of button-ups on this channel. I know you're like, great, one more button-up. But there is a couple of unique details with this one that I have not done on my channel, which is kind of cool. One of which is this collar has a collar stand like this. And so it's basically just goes right here at the back neck, kind of shoulder to shoulder, rather than going all the way to the center front. And that makes it so that when you attach the collar, you can't take the collar and go all the way to the edge of the button placket. You've got to stop shy because your collar meets at the center front, not, you don't want it to overlap, in other words. So that means we have to sew that little center front button placket a little differently, kind of like how I did my pullover camp shirt, the eyelet one I drafted recently. So we're going to do that. That's kind of cool. The other cool thing we're going to do is it's a two-piece sleeve, which means the sleeve is in two pieces. And the seam goes through the placket opening right here. So we can have some really fun sewing this. We can even do flat felled seams. Oh, what's the seam allowance on this pattern? I don't actually know. I'm hoping it's not something too small. Ah, darn it, I gotta do some conversion. It's 1.5 centimeters. I usually know these off the top of my head. Someone will shout it in chat before I get there. Oh, cool, it's 5/8. That's what I thought, but I didn't want to assume. All right, so we have enough to do flat felled seams. So that could be kind of cool. And then, what's the other thing? Oh, the other cool thing about this is that the hem is a straight hem. No shirt tail, no vent. So this would really translate very easily if you wanted to make an overcoat or I hate saying this word, shacket. You could do this in like a corduroy or denim, maybe a boiled wool. You can even line it. I think it's set up perfectly to become like a chore coat style. So, but we're gonna be doing a lightweight button up and it's gonna be awesome. Stop it, Shidney. Shidney. I'm just going to call you Shidney now. That's what you get for that. Hi, Derek. We were just reminiscing about the weather report from you. How's it going? Wait, no weather? So anyway, can the selvage be the hem? I mean, it puts it on the cross grain, which means that if it continues to shrink, which, it's a linen cotton, it is going to shrink in circumference. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting idea, though. We really like this hem, or the selvage, don't we? It's on both sides, too, so we have lots of it. Hi, Elena. Team Lurk. Trying to think, where else could we do this? We might be able to do it on the inside cuff. We could do it on the inside cuff. Yeah. It's a very wet Scotland just now, chilly. Ooh, sounds delightful. It's been very hot here. I thought about the pocket shim, but I'm not sure what he would think of that. I guess there is flaps over the pocket. So, yeah, maybe we could do that. We could also do the inside yoke. This whole thing is going to end up being cut on the cross grain, and I'm going to like eat my words about the old shrinkage idea. Yeah, it's funny because he loves fashion, but I feel like it's probably more to do with the fact that he doesn't go out of the house to work anymore. and we spend most of our time here. This isn't a very fashion-forward part of the state. Blending in is key. The button placket. I think shrinkage wouldn't be quite an issue. If anything, this selvage feels a little more stable because it's usually tighter woven. Hey Barbara, how's it going? This is so interesting. Okay, so let's maybe think about this. What if we, okay, let me figure out which direction the collar edge goes on, because I'm pretty sure this is the, ooh, where's the collar? I'm pretty sure that this is the neck edge. It goes like this. But they printed it upside down, so I'm not sure. Never trust a collar printing. Yeah, exactly. It's very much high contrast. These are very traditional pattern instructions. I don't know why this format was ever the format they decided to go with. It's such a clunky system. Let's see. Oh, okay, I'm wrong. So it looks like the straight edge goes to the collar. So if we did that, that could be cool though, right? We could have this little stripe going down the middle of the inside collar. Do we think that would be visible? We're doing the smallest one here. Wow, it's really small. Yeah, I don't think anyone would see that when you're wearing it. Okay, let's do that. So we're gonna mark it. Selvage. Oh man, my thumb is kind of messed up right now. I don't know what's happening, but something's up with my joint and it doesn't bend right now. Like it goes clunk, 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 and I can't write. All right, so we'll put selvage here. All right, let's plan this out. What about the inner cuff? Or the, what kind of placket is this? Oh, I don't think there is a placket. Wait, what kind of placket is this? Let me get rid of this. Actually, let's just glance at the, oh yeah, so you use the garment as the placket. So, trigger finger. Really? Yeah, I have. But I will say, Shem, that's really funny you say that, because for this week's skill building session is all about fitting confidence. And I've been kind of trying to figure out, like, I know what I want to go over, but I've been trying to shoehorn some things in there. And one of the things I'd really like to do is tissue fit a pattern. So I went through all of my patterns to find what I had in tissue. It is slim pickings. Yep. Oh, really? I thought she was an allergist, Aisha. Really? Yeah. I went, they x-rayed it yesterday, have not told me anything. It's swollen. It's hurt, really painful if I touch right here. Yeah, it's odd. I don't know what's going on with it. Doesn't hurt. Clunk, clunk. It's really weird. Oh, okay, got it, Aisha. Surgery? No. It was an odd experience. They immediately, I think, assumed that it was a repetitive motion injury and that I wanted medicine. And I was like, I kind of just want to know what it is. Let's go from there. Imagine that. You know? Okay. So we're going to do the, oh, okay, wait. Okay. Undersleeve. Oh, the yoke is shaped, so we're not going to do selvage there. Now that I'm saying shidney, I'm wanting to say shelvage. Did I ever tell you guys about the mean babysitter I had when I was a kid who didn't like my name and refused to call me by my name and called me Saremy? Like, come on, how petty and mean do you have to be to a child? Man, that lady would not be doing good in today's age, that's for sure. Like, I didn't choose that name. It wasn't weird to me because, you know, I was born with it. But she did not like it. Yep. Yeah, that was a weird, it wasn't until my mom found me on this front step when she pulled up just sitting there doing nothing because she got off work early that she believed everything I said. I know, so sad, right? It was fine. My mom rescued me, you guys. It was fine. I had a very young mom, you know. She had me when she was 20. So I was probably there when she was like mid-20s, right? I was in kindergarten and first grade. So yeah, my mom was probably like 26 or 27. Even though my mom was a nurse and she worked really hard and she needed daycare, she pulled me out of that place. So my mom was awesome. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a great idea. Yeah, that's such a great tip, Terry. I need to write that down. Can I write that down for a second? Sorry. I remember that. We were just talking about this recently. I might try that. I have to use my other hand to help me write right now. Interfacing tissue. Okay, cool. Thanks for that. I totally forgot about that. Putting it with my SBS pile. Well, you know what, Anne? The yolk is curved. Yeah, that's right. I remember that, Terry. That was a great way to get rid of it. Yeah, so the yolk is curved, so I feel like we might lose it. But what I'm thinking is, what if we did it right here on this little tab? I just don't know which one is going to, it's going to go like this. I'm pretty sure it's going to, like when we have this sewn, like that. This is so weird that they gave you a, they gave you a left front sleeve and a right back sleeve, half. Isn't that hilarious? This is a right back and this is a left front. Yeah, I have to flip it over for it to sew together. That's hilarious. Okay, so I'm gonna assume that this goes like this. Let's see, right? And then we're going to be hemming. I want to know which one's going to show. You know what I mean? Because this one's going to get like hemmed under. This one's going to sit over like that. So we could, what if we put that selvage, if we put the selvage like right here, like bias it in, then this right here would hem over it. And when you lift it up, you'd see that stripe. Yeah, right? Yeah, I think that could be. So let's see about drawing in where this goes. So this is the 34. Is this, this is the 34 and that's the 34. So we have, this is our 34 right here. Oops. Yeah, right? I mean, I'm thinking that could, I think that could work. So let's see how they have you sew it. So I use the seam allowance correctly that they've given us here. But it looks like you're just gonna hem it over. So you just have to kind of be strategic about where you're gonna place it. No, I am trying to use this cool selvage. Like a piping. I'm not sure my husband would be down for that, but that could be kind of cool. Like you could stick it out of the yoke seam. The YouTuber costume drama does that too. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay. let's see here. So yeah, that looks exactly like what's happening here. You snip to the dot. Okay, so if you're snipping to that dot is exactly where the seam line lines up. And so that's where our selvage needs to line up too. Well, it'll be an experiment. And at least you can learn from me if I don't get it quite in the right spot, because we'll talk about it when I'm sewing it, right? So we want our selvage to line up. So here's the dot right here. And I'm doing the smallest one right here, which should be 5/8. This right here should be 5/8 of an inch away from this cut edge. So let's see. That's where it should be. Yeah, look at that. Okay. So this means that once this is hemmed, so this is the, and then here, I don't know what the hem allowance is, but we'll just draw in 5/8 right here. So we basically probably want it to be right here. Let's see, what was the hem allowance on it? Sorry. Oh, that's cool, Malin. I love that. I save selvages now, and I like when I have like leftover fabric, I roll it up and I tie it with a piece of selvage and I put it in a bin, and I have all my little rolls sticking end up. And that's where I keep like all the fabrics that were used in actual projects for garments. And I just lengthened this dress like last Saturday, and that saved me. Like I went to the bin, I was like, please let me have a piece of this fabric. Found it. I had just enough to lengthen this dress because this dress kept shrinking, and so I kind of needed to make it presentable. My undershorts were hanging out below, so yeah, you know. Yeah, okay, yeah. I think this is gonna work just fine here. This is not the, I can see how, so see how right here this is? So this side right here is the underside of this placket, right? This button's over. So that, if we put a little bit of that stripe right there, right? Oh, that's cute, Raquel. I love that. Okay, 1 centimeter. So 2 centimeters is probably like 3/4 of an inch. 2 folds, 1 centimeter and 2 centimeters from the edge. Okay. Let's try it out. All right, so now we have our selvage here. We have it on the collar, and we'll put it on the top pocket, but there's going to be flaps over the pocket. Is that enough for you guys? Is that good? The only other place I could see doing it is, what if you could do it on the center front placket. This is going to be a more visible place, I think. Look how huge this yoke is. So this is a fold over placket, right? It doesn't have a separate pattern piece for the placket. You cut 2. This is so funny. So you could put it on the button side of your placket and strategically place it. This is your center front right here. So that notch right there is your center front. That's where your collar is going to go to. And you could put it right there. All this is fabric. And then that way, when your shirt's unbuttoned a little bit, you would see a little bit right there. So that's cool. I'm not going to do that on this one. Yeah, that's another time, like sometimes when you see like twill tape down a placket or a ribbon or something. So, all right, let's get cutting. This is fun. I love details like this. We know we have enough seam allowance. I think I'm going to, I sort of want to save this pattern in these sizes, you know, just because since I make the menswear patterns in my life, I sew for 3 different guys. So maybe I will Maybe I will, let's see, I think my dad wouldn't be more than a 42. So maybe what I'll do is cut everything off but the 42, you know, and we'll try and save some of this. We'll see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's the fabric. Okay, so like that. Nope, that was the wrong one already. All right, this might not go well. How would you make it? Do you mean how would I sew it, or how would I lay it out? How's it going, Anthony? Because if I were putting it on the placket, I would do just like what I was saying. I would probably, well, actually, if we don't have enough, right? Because the placket isn't very wide. I mean, the selvage isn't very wide. How wide? I need more question. Sorry. So here is your center front, right? There's your notch. If you would like your decorative piece to be centered over that, you know, you're not going to have enough fabric. So probably what I would do is cut this piece off. I would add seam allowance to it. I would actually double the seam allowance because you are going to have to use some of the selvage as seam allowance. So basically, if you were to cut, how would I make the deck? You don't really have a choice. I mean, this is on this selvage, it's not very wide, but your placket is only going to be as wide. Let me show you how to measure it. So here is your placket. So I'm going to just hold this up for a second so you can kind of see. So do you see right here that this is a fold line, and right here is your center. So anytime you see center right there, or you'll see button and buttonhole markings on the line, and this is what these all are right here. That's the center of your garment. Your garment has to meet right there. So the way to determine how wide that they've allowed for this is to measure from your center to this fold. So this is a pretty wide placket. So that's 3/4 of an inch in this case from center to this fold right here, which means you have a 1.5 inch wide finished placket. And so what you probably do is fold on this fold line right here. And you probably fold again. Or it looks like you have it looks like there's like a little hook at the top here, like a folding impression. Yep, and that's 1.5 inches wide. So it's kind of a gigantic placket. And then what I would do is I would cut this right here at that fold line, and I would add seam allowance to both edges, and then that's what I would use. So it just depends on what you're using for your decorative piece. I don't have much option here. Like my selvage is, you know, it's only that wide, right? So if I wanted to use the selvage here, what I'm going to have to do is piece together my under placket for this one. So you're going to see me do it. But it just depends on what you're using. So just remember where your center is, your garment has to meet there. Anything past it is the extension. That's the button extension, placket extension. And I would put your seam on the fold line. I would make that a seam because that's a very natural place. There's a lot of separate plackets out there. So this is the funny thing for me about Merchant and Mills patterns, is that I think that they give off a very kind of upscale vibe, right? Do you guys get this impression from Merchant and Mills? It's a very upscale vibe, like a very kind of expensive clothing brand vibe. But their sewing techniques are all budget sewing techniques, which is kind of funny. Because this is a very budget-oriented placket. No pleat, I don't think, right? No pleat in it, no separate piece. And I'm not saying that's bad or anything. It makes it easier to sew, which is great. So, all right. Let me get my fabric laid out here. Okay. Refined, classic. I just think like when I look at their website, I get a very much a she vibe, you know? But the sewing is very basic. And honestly, that's pretty darn awesome when you think about it, right? Because that's very accessible to people. They can get that kind of look. It's just fabric choice and photography. Hi, Julie. How's it going? I'm feeling like I want to iron this a little better, but you know, we could live on the edge a little bit. All right, so like I said, this is a men's shirt, and I'm going to button this left over right, which means the button side is going to be the right front, which means that we're going to flip this over to do the decorative side. So I can do one left front the regular way. Shabby chic. I don't think of their vibe as shabby chic at all. Because I feel like shabby chic is kind of in that cottagecore thing, and I would not consider Merchant and Mills cottagecore, you know what I mean? All right, so we're gonna cut one left front, and we'll cut the right front with the decorative piece. I'm kind of resigned to just buying this pattern if I want it for my dad, or just drafting it from the ones I have. I consulted with my husband about the size. So I made him what did I make him, the tropical shirt? The medium or the large? And he was like, it's on the large side. I'm making him the smallest size. My backup plan is if it's a little too small, I'm gonna just give it to my daughter. They're about the same size. It won't fit her properly because it's men's, but she likes that look, right? So I don't want it on top. I want it on the underside. Oh wait, I don't want to do it on mine. What am I talking about? Anthony distracted me. I wasn't planning on doing this decoration detail on mine. It's too noticeable. And I would do it on the button placket, not the buttonhole placket. Personally. Your insides scream. Dang. I don't want to make anybody scream, any part of them. I had to get another box for my fabric scraps right now. That's kind of getting a little bit too much. I don't have my Hera marker over here. So we have lots. We have lots of markings here. I'm gonna go get my Hera marker. It'll just be easier. Because there's a flap and a pocket. You guys really, you never do that? Really? All right. I don't really think I need, oh, there's a little hem marking here. I'm gonna do a tiny little nip there, and we're gonna do one here and here. I wonder what the neck seam allowance is. This doesn't really have a right or wrong side, this fabric. I've been thinking about a lot about like when you guys get ready to cut and sew, How many of you, I'm going to do a poll. I hope that a lot of you answer this. Start a poll. Oh, there's 2 typos. I have a poll in the chat. You have 2 cats yelling at you. So if you want to add this decorative thing and making these kinds of changes at the placket, it can be really, really confusing. What I recommend, especially when you're doing any kind of pattern alterations and you're feeling a little bit like, oh, this is making me nervous, trace your pattern off without any seam allowances on it. Oh, I probably could have added a sometimes. All right, but just eliminate all the patterns that you know don't need fitting. If you know a pattern, you're not sure, do you muslin or not? I'm not saying like, oh, I'm making a t-shirt, I don't care, right? I'm saying like, if you were making pants, a darted shirt, a dress, because, you know, I sometimes do too. So yeah, if you're ever doing changes, I highly recommend getting rid of all the seam allowance on your pattern. Anything, everything, the button extension. Get rid of the this fold, right? Just leave it to the fold line here. Just leave your extension. Get rid of all your seam allowance. Take it all off. Make your changes, add it back on. And it will feel a lot more, it'll feel less risky. "100% yes." You guys give me the impression that you don't. I'm reading your stuff here. So, all right, so here's my next question. Wait a minute. I can't see this through the paper. Which size I'm on. How many of you, let me do another poll. Okay. Okay, I have another one for you. 25 votes, 100%. You guys just made me so happy. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, I feel like you lied. I do. I feel like you guys just lied to me. Oh, man. Oh, this is fun watching the votes come in. It's like going back and forth. Are you only going to make are you much more likely to make a muslin if it can be a wearable muslin, like it can be a garment in your closet that you wear? Well, like I do a lot of muslins, but they're sitting here in my garbage bin. I'm not going to wear this out in the world. Like, meaning it can be a garment in your closet. Yeah, I think so too, Elena. I'm not asking that, Sydney. That's like asking people about pineapple on pizza, and I do not understand because it should not be like a question like that at all. Okay, did I do this yet? I'm not sure. Let me just do it again real quick. You want to get in and out ASAP. I think like what I'm trying to distinguish is that I feel like a lot of people will only go to the effort and expense, fabric expense of making a muslin if it can be a garment they can own, even if it doesn't fit that great. They'd still rather have a bad fitting garment in their closet than make it out of a fabric like muslin or something that they would throw away. Well, right, Michelle, but you could get dedicated fabric for it. Prototype, muslin, and toile are the exact same thing. Prototype, in my opinion, is the most accurate word. Muslin and toile refer to, or calico, they refer to fabric. And I've never really liked those terms, but they're just the common terms people use. Exactly, Raquel. Me too. Yeah, that's true, Elena. I guess it's better than nothing sometimes, right? I'm going to put pins in this for where these marks are because I have a feeling they're going to disappear by the time I get to sewing them. And at least I'll have it for the other one. Yep, exactly, Aisha. We always called them prototypes in the outdoor industry and muslins in the fashion industry. But in the outerwear industry, you're more likely to be doing, the pattern drafting is called engineering. So I have opinions about this because I came from the fashion industry and I went to the outdoor industry, and there was a huge bias against me for that. But I was the only one trained in pattern drafting, grading, all the stuff, right? I'm the only one that went to design school that I would meet in the outdoor industry. Nobody was classically trained. And for some people, they felt very biased against me for that, and other people felt like, oh, cool, can I ask you a question? You know, right? So some people, it was like one of the places I worked, it was a strike against me that I was trained and I was underpaid there, and I left because I was like, well, you wanted me to work here, you came for me, but you don't really want, he didn't value education. He would straight up say he didn't value education. And I understood that kind of mentality. I'm like, I don't think everybody has to be educated, but I don't think it's a strike against me. I paid for it myself too, so it's not like, you know. But I think in the outdoor industry, they call it engineering because it doesn't sound like fashion. You know what I mean? They just had this weird thing about fashion. I'm like, fashion is everything though. Children's wear, clothing for everybody. And they just thought of it was there was only couture. I'm like, I never worked in that, you know? So I don't know. It's a weird thing. So when I had to market myself in the outerwear industry, I was called a pattern engineer. And I think that's why I also favored the term pattern drafter, not pattern maker. In the UK, it's a pattern cutter. And that's the most, like, probably traditional term for it. Yeah, so there was a weird thing. Remember I told you guys about him because he was the one that was like, oh, I bet this outdoor show is totally different. There's no fashion here. And I was like, what do you mean there's no fashion here? And he was like, well, we don't care about trends here. We don't all dress because of fashion. I was like, okay, well, that's not correct. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, look at this trend of everybody wearing chambray shirts and khaki pants. I've never seen that anywhere else except the outerwear industry. I said, or this really strange trend where you all wear white socks with Chacos or Teva sandals. That would be the least fashionable thing you'd ever see in the fashion world. But here, it's like you're part of the club if you wear your shoes, your sandals, and your socks that way. Oh man, the look on his face. I was like, there's nothing wrong with that. You have your trends in your own industry. That's just how it is. It's how you know you're part of the club, right? You identify as an outdoor enthusiast when you have your puffy vest and your Tevas with white socks. Fashion is for girls, right, Sarla? So, yeah, people just have their assumptions when maybe they should just, I don't know, not assume. Okay, so we're putting this guy on the fold here. And I'm hoping I'm not like being cavalier with my fabric today. But I'm going to really fold this like this. Oh, right. The Devil Wears Prada scene. That scene, like, that scene comes in my head so often. I was just thinking about it yesterday when I was in one of the Zooms. All right. How far down are we? Ooh, we're way up here. I'm keeping this fabric intact. You know, actually, let's be even smarter about this. I'm going to leave this piece intact because I'm probably going to need it for sleeves. So let's fold this from the cut side here, because that way I can leave an even bigger piece intact over here, just in case, you know. It is a chambray. It is from Hearts Fabric. I'm sorry, I don't have the details on it, but I can find out for it. I'm gonna say it's about a 5 ounce weight, maybe 4.5 ounce weight. I also think it has linen in it because it's not like a really soft drapey, or it's like a linen cotton. I think there's a cotton in it. Okay. All right. Way down here. Actually, let's just do this. 13 3/8. Get it a little better on grain here. Cool. I just bought a bunch of fabric for making muslins, and I was going to use muslin, but I find it really hard to see on camera, you know, so I opted for some like just Prince quilting cotton that was on deep discount from Joann Fabrics on their doorbuster thing. Then I got another coupon. I've gotten so many packages from this order. It's ridiculous how they've sent it. But I think my last packages arrive today and tomorrow. Maybe I can save that piece. All right, so I'm gonna notch this little spot here and this little hem thing, just as a reminder. Sorry. Oh, yeah, totally, Sue. I know, like when you're shopping for yourself, that's so true. Why do you think you keep using the wrong types, Julie? Like, do you really think they're the wrong types? I feel like I've seen you make things and they're cute. It depends it depends what kind of like garments you like to make, because there are some fabric types that are sort of hard to find, you know? Oh, that's cool. But quite expensive. What was expensive? Oh, knit, really? What are you looking for? What do you feel like, what's wrong with the knits you've picked? Tell me that. Tell me what's wrong with the ones that you've picked. Like, what are you looking for? Oh, that's true, Michelle, for about your pants, muslins. Yeah, that is really tricky. If you're doing like a stretch denim, it's an expensive muslin. $20.99. Yeah, that is pretty expensive for Joann Fabrics. Hi, Fiona. How's it going? You're watching in the past, okay? She can't hear me. They're stiff and stand off my body. Okay, so that's probably like a cotton knit. So if you want something drapier and clingier and a little bit more like ready to wear, like when you see in the stores, go for things like bamboo knit, rayon knit, what's the viscose, any of those kinds of really drapey, bouncy knits. That's what you're looking for. They're a little fiddly to sew with, but you're going to get probably the result you want. Yeah, that's true, Elaine. It sounds like they're really getting some good collaborations now. Okay, let me pay attention to what I got going on over here. I've got these big sleeves. I really need to fit them in next. Don't wait for your big pieces, you know? Yeah, because this guy doesn't fit, but this guy. Juicy Couture, that's a FIT'em graduate. Okay, those will both fit in here. So let's do these sleeves. Modal, spandex. Yeah, modal would be another drapey. Challis is a weave of a fabric. You don't want that for knits. That is not a knit. Listen to what I'm saying, because I think the chat's talking about something else right there. The rayon challis was something else. So when you want something like a bouncy, clingy, really drapey knit, something, you know, that even could be made kind of sexy or just really comfortable, cool to wear, go for the viscose and the rayon knit, not challis, rayon knit, bamboo knit. If you can only find like a cotton based knit and you want it to be drapey, you want something like interlock, or I want to say like baby rib or 1x1 rib, but that's kind of dicey. Rayon challis is not knit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, okay, is this it's the other one that I'm going to do on the selvage. Merino knit is drapey, but it's also wool and warm. Very seasonal. Because merino is a fiber. Pima cotton, it can be drapey, but it's a woven. She's looking for knits. Yeah, Spoonflower has some knits. The poly it's a poly, you know, so if you're into that, that's great. They have a cotton that's kind of boardy and stiff and kind of thick. It's great. It's just not probably what she's looking for. All right, so can I get this all the way on here? I can, so let's just make sure it's on grain. Yeah, there you go, Malin. Malin wrote it in a nice little list there. Yeah, they're all kind of in this. Don't think of them as natural fibers. They're not that anymore. Once they've been made into some of these fabrics, they are so far from being a natural fiber because they have to do so many treatments to the fabric to get it to become fabric, those fibers and stuff. So if you are a, you know, someone who's like, I only want natural fibers, just don't fool yourself into thinking bamboo is a natural fiber. It's too over processed. Not to burst your guys' bubble, but it's the same with yarn. There's people that will just die on the knitting hill of bamboo as a natural fiber. And I mean, it started as bamboo, but it's chemically treated and extruded. So yeah, lots of chemicals. Yeah, exactly. Tencel and modal better. There's a really good website that Makers Fabric linked to, and it probably wouldn't be hard to find because there's some of those are brand names too. So we're kind of being flippant about all the names there because some are fibers and some are brand names like modal and lyocell, Tencel. Those are all brand names. They aren't fibers. Yeah, they say Tencel rayon are natural fibers. They are not. It may start that way. I know it feels like, oh, it must be better, but so many chemicals and so much water is used that it's just not really. And I buy these fabrics, so it's not like I'm against them. I just don't want people to feel like say, especially if you have an allergy or sensitivity to synthetics, be really careful. Yeah, I mean, viscose, yeah, I mean, it's good Googling it. C-cell, lyocell, right, Raquel? Yeah. C-cell is really, yeah, like that is, it's like when you hear of corn being made into fabric. Are you really, would you eat that? So, yeah. Okay, I need to draw on here where my sleeve is because I have all the sizes on here since I'm making all your stomachs clench by cutting on my paper. So it's this one. Wait. Yeah, it is this little tiny hook here. I was measuring wrong off of this. It's the... Oh, no, I wasn't. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's correct. Okay, cool. I was like, wait. I think, Julie, that last year I had a free Zoom on shopping for fabric online. And that's in the like free content section of the Guild if you ever want to watch that. And it's pretty like comprehensive. Let's see here. When I have these little like, can you see that there's this little like right angle here? I did pretty good with my rotary knife, but sometimes, you know, I have trouble getting into that little interior corner. So what I'll do is I will cut, you know, this long edge off here, and then maybe I'll cut this kind of close, and then I just peel this back to get the corner right there. And same with this way too. You know, you can take this and peel this back and then cut it so that you kind of free up the corner. I'm not giving you a very good tutorial on that. I've shown it many times. So, all right. There's no pleats in this sleeve. It's very smooth. Yeah, no problem. I think it's on the left side of the Guild, and it's like free content or something like that. And so it's called something like fabric shopping online. Like, how do you pick fabric online? And I gave a ton of examples and strategies. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Malin. That's exactly what they do with all those like bamboo and stuff. Because what they can do is they can use some of those, the products from those industries, and they're like leftover product, and they're like, what can we do with this? Oh, I know. Let's just make it unrecognizable and we'll call it fabric. Or, you know, packing peanuts. Oh, thank you, Anthony. Is that what it's called? That sounds so... Shopping for fabric online successfully. That thank you, guys. Thanks. That's it. Okay, so now we're going to do the this little selvage here. I think I'm going to take this over to the iron real quick and let's just iron this selvage a little better. You know, wait, where am I? Over here. Oh, I forgot to set up my camera. Let's set this up here. I have to zoom this one in all the way. Meow. And I bonk it with my hip. That's how it gets crooked. And then let's get the little bit of sharpness and brightness. There we go. All right, so I'm just gonna I machine wash and dry all of my rayon as well, but like I said earlier, I had to lengthen this dress because it was getting a little short. Hanging dry is the best, I think. I do some things hang dry, especially like workout clothes. Workout bra. Yeah, you could do that. I do 20 minutes on low for most of my things. It's kind of fun to think about this fabric, like, you know, like when it was born, like what, you know, when it was in the factory being made, all these little fibers were woven onto a loom or threaded onto a loom. I don't know I don't know what the proper term is. I'm trying not to iron my fabric too much because I think that this is never going to get ironed, you know, that great when it gets worn. So I try and keep it a little bit wrinkly so the sizing doesn't change too much. Yeah, I don't dry clean anything either, but I don't really have that option here. Yeah, some fabrics just continue to shrink. It could be that maybe my modesty increased. All right, so let's see here. We want this to, let's see, we want this to, let's see. Okay. So if this is going to fold like this much, and then this much again, right? And there's a seam right here. We want our decorative part right here to line up to that line, and it's barely going to do that because of the width of this selvage. So we'll just do the best we can. I'm going to cut off this little edge here. It's kind of bumpy and it's also not very flat. this guy right here. I got most of it. You can see this little black thread is where they must have stabilized the edge when they got to the end there. Okay. So I'm going to get this as far over as possible. And I wonder how much we're going to see of this. What could I do differently? Because I don't really want to add, like, I don't want to add a piece of fabric to this edge to kind of get it there, because that's just adding a seam, which is kind of weird. You know what I mean? I could do a smaller hem. We'll just stick with what we got, because maybe it'll be better that it's not. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Maybe it's better that I don't put that white line of the selvage right up to this purple, like the seam. Then it won't sneak. I could applique it on, but yeah, I mean, I could use it like a twill tape. Oh, right, exactly, Terry. I could do something like, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm wondering, Anne, exactly. I'm like, I also just don't want to add too much bulk here, but I do like the idea of just doing like a cool twill tape there. Let's see how it goes. Trying to get that right up to the edge. There we go. The sleeve is kind of small. Save that little piece there. We got this. See here, we'll lift up this corner like this. And now I can continue going up. All right. And now we need the other side. Kind of cool. What am I doing to this shirt? This poor shirt. Yeah, I'm just using the selvage as decoration for the under placket. We're trying to use the cool selvage. If I had a directional fabric, I would have to cut this on the other side of the fabric, because right now I just flipped the sleeve upside down. It's a two-piece sleeve. Yes. Sydney, you were here in the beginning. Were you not paying attention? Just teasing. She did say she was working and also trying to provoke me by using the word shacket. So, you know. For once, it's not Shem on the naughty list. It's Sydney. It's Shidney. I'm working. Wait, what? No, she was not. Wait, what? What a miss. Okay, I need a smaller. I found the coolest iron. This new thrift shop opened up, and they have a bunch of these irons, and one of them was really cute. It was much smaller because I have a really small one. Where's my really small one? Yeah, you really are. But it doesn't have a handle on it, It's one of my first ones. I really like the small one because it's great for small pieces, and it's got a sharp point right here. This one had that. It was also like $40. And I don't need any more of these, so yeah. But even my husband was like, this one's kind of cool. I'm like, it is. It's kind of an awkward angle. All right, there's no other notches on this. I keep looking. There's this little, you know, clip mark here. We could put a little pin there so we don't forget it, but we won't. We won't be able to hem it without clipping to that point. There we go. All right, where are we at? What do we need? We still need these massive collar pieces. We need a yoke. We're also going to do the selvage on this piece here and the top of the pocket. So we have this, where's the yoke? Is it over here? Here it is. Okay. Here's the yoke. We need 2 of this, right? Yeah. This font, man, I love it. It's shouting at me. Yeah, and the loop, exactly. Here, we'll cut that right now. Or maybe I'll just put this in here and pin it so I know it's supposed to be in there for the loop. Thank you. Okay, let's get this a little more organized here. I've kept this piece intact for a long time. Gosh, I'm gonna have enough, right? I can always cut things on the other grain line. See, this is another budget thing. The cuff is on the fold. Like the cuff, it has a fold, you know? Right, Sydney? I think that'd be really cute. What skirt are you thinking of? I like that pattern. One more fabric, chicken. Yeah. Yeah, when I get really nervous about some of those things actually not working, I will, that's when I take them in the iPad and I put them on me. Like, I have a little dummy of me. And so I scale the garment to fit my little dummy, and then I scale the other garment to fit, and then I put them together, and I'm like, okay, that might work proportionally, you know? But sometimes, yeah, it doesn't. Okay, this is much narrower. It goes to here. So let's see, could we get 2 across? No, we could not. All right, so we have here and here. We can get 2 yokes, one above the other. And then the collars are going to have to go on the length grain. It's either that or I do the yoke that way. What do I want? What do I want? The yoke being on the other grain makes more sense for the fit of it. But collars and yokes are frequently cut on either grain line. Yeah, I'm doubling the yoke. Oh, that sounds cute. And then the short Reynolds top. Okay, so we can get 1 here. And 1 here. And look how long this piece is, man. Try and cut 2 layers. At least the grain line's really easy to see on this fabric. Like, literally, look how little this is compared to the other sizes, you know? It's like, it's definitely easy to skew how I'm thinking. There we go. Oh, yeah, Raquel, I'm not surprised. Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking too, Anthony, but this is pretty loose. It's pretty loose. There's more stretch in the length though, so I'm just going to do it this way. And I think it'll be fine since it's not a very structured fit. Some of the most interesting fitting things I've been on, Raquel, like where I worked, was when I fit triathletes, and they were all competitive and pros, and they were some of the, and they weren't that far away from like fitting a kayaker, but it was different. Like the triathlete people, they had, I don't want to say they had the weirdest bodies, but they kind of did. They kind of, it was very exaggerated in areas, you know. And they're very small, like they're very low body fat, very small people, but they are misshapen. Swimmers are very misshapen as far as the muscle distribution goes. Misshapen is kind of a bad word. I don't mean it as a negative. I just mean they're very much not a traditional body shape for clothing, but they are for triathletes. I loved doing those fit sessions. They were really awesome. I learned so much. It was so fun to fit and talk to them about what they liked and what they didn't like about the garment and fit it perfectly. And it was just so gratifying because, you know, if they could only have custom clothing for the rest of their life, they would have been so happy because things just didn't fit them very well in general, you know, understandably too. See, this yoke is curved. Are we going to do the hanging loop here, Terry? We could. Yep, small waist, square broad shoulders, but more bulk in the back. And pecs, like they're pecs, like the women have pecs rather than busts. Yeah, you can get it as a PDF, exactly, Derek. Oh, really? Are they well suited for swimmers? Abercrombie and Fitch? That's interesting. Okay. We have these massive collar pieces. They're very big. And I'm tempted to get it down here. I still have 2 pockets that I need to cut, and then we're getting close to this yardage. I need 2 cuffs, and I need 1 of these or 2 of these. 2 of these, right? Better need 2 of these. Yeah, 2. Broad shoulder, small butt. Yeah, exactly. I remember this one. I wish I would have kept in touch with some of those people. It would have been really cool to like follow them and cheer them on. You know, there was no social media then. So, all right, I could probably get both of these like this. This is the 34. Oh my goodness. Tissue paper. Yeah. I'm giving myself visuals. You guys lately have been saying, I can't believe you can do this in live stream. And it's like, well, there's moments where I need to set myself up for success like this. Because this is exactly where things can go wrong. But that fits there. I'm not sure why I'm being so protective of the fabric, but so I could go like way over here. Dang. I'm cutting this on the opposite grain line, just so you know. I'm glad that my thumb issue isn't bugged by my rotary knife. She assumed that, you know, that it was a repetitive motion thing, and I was like, yeah, I don't think so. I've been through hand therapy for repetitive motion, and I don't like touching my blade to the weight. This is so weird that there's a notch on the outer collar. Why are there drills here? Okay. Okay. We're just going with it. We're trusting the process. Right? All right, tell me, what is the latest new pattern you have bought? If you haven't bought a pattern in over a month, what's the pattern you're hemming and hawing over? I want to know what you guys are into right now. It's a quizzy type of day. We got to catch up. You know, I haven't seen you in a couple weeks, so. Chelsea Chinos, 5 out of 4. Okay, that's a new one, right? You don't have enough fabric? Did you see was it Minimalist Machinist just posted her outfit for a wedding, and she used 2 different like blues. She did a 2-piece set as well, and I thought, oh, it came out really good. Closet core poppy shorts, haven't cut out yet. It's new to me, not sure when I think it's kind of newish, yeah. Cargo shorts from PDF Patterns Boutique. Oh, do I know that pattern company? Oh, okay. I just made some cargo shorts a couple weeks ago, Anthony. They're right here. Because I need to fix the snap on them. But they turned out good. They're heavy. These are the ones with the menu inside. They're sitting right here. It's kind of funny. Your latest pattern's the Donnie. That's right. Ooh, Willowdale. Wow, fancy. The Amelie dress by Merchant and Mill. Oh, the pant shop by. Oh, hi Claire. How's it going? You've cut a muslin with the shorts. Oh, neat. You're considering the Bernadette skirt. That's cute. I like that skirt. That's really cute. Okay, I need some of these things need interfacing, so let's just set them aside. Oh, that's what started you looking. Oh, nice. I hope you find a cargo short you like. I mean, I imagine you could put cargo pockets on any short. If you're in, I don't know if you're in the guild or you're in this, you have skill building sessions, but there's a cargo pocket in the pocket one. Where are we at? Is this all I have left? Where's the collar? The collar, this one here. All right. We need 2 of all of these things. PDF Patterns Boutique. I kind of want to see this. Do you mind if I look at this, you guys? PDF Patterns Boutique cargo short. Is this? Yeah, I do mean that. Streetwear cargo short. Okay, I found the pattern. Cargo short pattern. Oh, this place. Okay. Cool. Oh, and it has patch pockets on the back. And it has a gusset on the inseam rather than like a big butt patch. Here, I'll show you guys. I just got to find my... me and my computer. Here it is, right here. This is it. And there's a video. Nice. Okay, cool. I haven't made any of these patterns. Okay. Oh, it's got a button fly. I'm always on the hunt for menswear. Oh, that's not very many sizes. Okay, cool. Looks nice. Nice. My most recent purchase was the duathlon shorts from Fairtrade. Oh, cool. Okay. Doesn't have to be a new pattern, just new to you. Anyone do the Ilford jacket from the Friday pack? Oh yeah, there has been a few people who've done the Ilford here. Primrose Dawn wireless Icaria pants by Itch to Stitch. It's an applique. Oh, okay, okay. So more of like a reinforced thing. That's great if you're a cyclist. Oh, Le Short Grand Bain by Maison Fauve. Neat. Seaforth by Hey June Handmade. You guys are so inspiring. Where's the pocket flap? Who took the pocket flap? I have this mess over here. I know one of you guys are hiding it from me. Ay caramba. Oh, here it is. I found it. Okay. I have a fan going in here. Oh, you just got talked out of the Ilford. That's because of what you wanted to do, though, right? Oh, this is we're doing the selvage. We left enough, right? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, I love the Nomi patterns. You just finished your Brooks jeans shorts? And what do you think? How'd they come out? Right, exactly, Mullen. I know, I'm loving it too. Pattern chatter always inspires me and I get really distracted. All right, so this is the selvage edge side, right? So we're gonna do that. Do we wanna do it on the outer one? We're just gonna do it on the inner neck, right? And then we can do our pocket flaps. Maybe with this piece here. It's a kind of a gosh darn good thing I did those pieces down in that body of the fabric because we are cutting it close. I think I can get the flaps right here though. And we're gonna do one here and move one over into the fabric. Okay, we got this. That makes sense, Elena. I know you like closet core. You didn't get the fit quite right. Extra flap of fabric on one pant leg. That does sound interesting. I think you guys are going to be happy to know I'm going to start a fitting series. And I've been gearing up for it for a long time. But I really want it to be like a reference thing, right? And it be very consistent format. So you're like, oh, that's the wrinkle I have. Kind of like a wrinkle dictionary series, you know? And it'd be very straightforward. So I'm going to show you the fit issue. I'm going to show you how to fix it. And I'm going to show you on the pattern piece how to fix it. And then that way it's very consistent format. I don't know about a weird flap on a leg though. I've been kind of gearing up for this for like months and I think I'm finally ready. I can start. been trying to come up with all the things that I want in it. Hi, Adina. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, Fiona needs a longer jacket. Oh, wait, we're doing this in with the, okay, we're running out of selvage, y'all. We may have to make some tough choices. So let's put, can we get that on there? This one looks better pressed. Yeah, a wrinkled dictionary, exactly. A wrinkled dictionary. Maybe that's what I'll call it. Now, I don't think that will make people understand what it's about. All right, this is quite short. Not short, but I might need that little piece there. Maybe we'll go to this end over here since it's at an angle. And leave this piece here with a nice straight edge just in case I need it for a pocket, because I might. I'm excited to sew this. Even it feels, in some ways I was a little bit like, oh, it's not very summery, and I'm kind of in the mood for summery things. But I mean, you know me, I really love sewing menswear. I probably don't sew it how a lot of you guys would like me to sew it. I'm sorry about that. But I do really enjoy sewing menswear, and I'm really excited about new details on a button-up shirt. So that's fun. Okay, so we have this one. And now we're going to, I'm prioritizing the selvage, obviously, right now. Okay, so we want this selvage to show here, and it's not going to. We're going to have to applique it on like you guys have been talking about. So, got flaps, drags, or pulls? Head on down to the wrinkled dictionary. You can't resist putting a piece when it fits like that, right? I felt like there was another reason it wasn't going to work, Fiona, wasn't there? What were we talking about? I thought, oh, because it's a women's jacket and you're sewing it for your husband. I think that was part of the stumbling block. I know they put it on a guy in the photos, but I don't think is it actually drafted as unisex? Because if it's drafted as unisex, in my opinion, that means it's a men's pattern. It's drafted for men, but I don't think it is. So I think that was why we were cautioning you against it. Or just making sure you knew about that. Yeah, and we found that cute Nomi pattern. It's drafted as unisex. Oh, well, that the bode's better for it fitting. Okay, we have 2 cuffs. We have 2 pockets. I have 1 collar, no flaps. Okay, yeah, that gender and gender and physical bodies are very different things. So, you know how I feel about unisex. I think it does nobody a service. I really want to save all this selvage here. Like, I am so about, I love androgynous, or not androgynous, that's not the word I'm looking for. What's the word I'm looking for? What's the, like, I love clothing for all bodies. I just still think you need it to fit different types of body shapes. So, Oh, my pattern paper is a little wrinkly here. I'm kind of not doing a good job there. That's interesting. Weren't you guys just talking about how, oh yeah, it was Adina who has the pockets that fit a rotisserie chicken. This pocket flap isn't graded. Gender neutral, thank you. That is actually the exact term. I love gender neutral in expression clothing, but I think that everybody would agree that bodies are different. Oh, that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was, Elena. And maybe that's why we were steering Fiona towards maybe something else. Because there were some, you're right, there was some like drafting issues upon release. Yes. Yeah. I mean, women can wear whatever they want, right, Anthony? It just doesn't mean it fits. That's what unisex means. That's what it means to me. And you guys, like, this is coming from someone who literally was one of the people you have to thank for pioneering women's specific fit in outerwear clothing. And I'm not exaggerating or being pompous. I'm serious about that. We were at one of the companies setting the bar for that. So, and fighting really hard so y'all could pee on the side of a boat if you didn't have the other kind of anatomy. So I literally won a design award right there for it. So yeah. That's cool, Elena. Yeah, maybe it was just like, maybe certain sizes are harder to put together. Hi, Pontinos. How's it going? All right, so now I'm just looking for one little, look how little this guy is. It's kind of cute. I'm going to lay it up on this edge because that looks fairly, yeah. Fairly straight is what I meant to say. Okay, but we are taking it. This looks like scrap fabric. Oh, I know, right, Anthony? I totally agree. But you know, on the other flip side of that, I believe like if you're comfortable and you like the way it looks, that's all that matters, in my opinion. We had this really interesting discussion yesterday because we were looking at, are you still here, Eliza? So the blouse you made the other day and you were showing us in the workshop about the sleeve fit, that came up yesterday in one of the Zooms, and we went to the website and we were looking at it. And the thing is, like, this would be such a great discussion to have with lots of different people that do different things in the, like, sewing, any sewing industry in any type of, I don't know, position. Because the thing is, like, fit and design are very different things. And so if you want the sleeve to do this thing, you might force a fitting issue in order to get it to hang that way, right? So there's ways to design certain pattern elements so that it isn't a fit issue that gives you that look, but other times it's not. You're literally creating a fit issue to get the design that you want. So, because I get asked a lot, oh, is that just incorrect? Did they draft that wrong? And I'm always hesitant to say if they've drafted it wrong because they may want it to look that way. And literally the pattern we were talking about yesterday was a pattern that kind of put this company on the map for home sewing, and it became really popular and it helped boost them and give them, and now they're huge. So, but if you look at the pattern, like we were looking at it on the website, it's pretty badly fit. One of the darts comes up here on the model. The sleeve on that particular model, the armhole, was below her bust line. And the other one, when you could tell, like when she was sideways, how terrible the fit of the sleeve was. And so The thing is, though, it was a look. And on the skinny model, it has, you know, it's far more accepted. All those fit issues are far more accepted in the world because it's kind of a desirable affectation of the garment when it's hanging on a really thin model. They don't have to put in the effort of fitting if the person is really slender. They could, they really could, but slender people end up wearing things that are too big for them and don't fit them well all the time, but it's accepted. So when it's someone who's curvier, fit issues show up more prominently because nobody spends as much time fitting them as they should. And that person is going to be more uncomfortable because you have a thin person probably fitting them. So this particular pattern had 2 size ranges and they clearly fit the models differently. So, you know, saying like the pattern is correct or not or whatever, you can't, because sometimes that's a design style that they want. They want this aesthetic. So it's really interesting. I see, like, you guys all stand in line and behind someone at the grocery store and you're checking out the fit of their clothes. I know some of you. But did you ever do that when you weren't a home sewer? Probably not, until you were just fed up with never finding pants that fit, and now here you are, right? So I don't know, there's a lot of, you can see stuff on really high fashion runways, walking down the runway, that it's not that it fits or doesn't fit. It is designed to look that way on that person, and that's different. Right? Oh, hip hop is such a really great demonstration of trying to create a look and an aesthetic that is not what has been the normal or traditional look, because they really want to carve out their own identity. And it's been such a gift to pushing the fashion envelope because it's also coupled with being streetwear, which is more accessible than high fashion runway stuff, which is inaccessible for most of us. Anyway, let me get the interfacing. I'm rambling and probably not about anything you really care about. All right, I'm going to use my little roll here for this stuff. I was going to use black interfacing, but I don't have the bolt. I only have the rolls in black. And I want all my interfacing to match, so I'm being a weirdo. Okay. Also, did anyone see the big announcement that Procreate's teasing? I'm so excited. I wonder what it's going to be. Which is a drawing app, by the way. The pattern we were talking about was the Closet Core Cielo shirt and dress. I'm not trying to hide it. It just wasn't, it's not like it's unique to them, you know. And I never want it to look like I'm trying to pick on a pattern company. Quite the opposite. I was actually defending it because, like I said, they may have wanted to look that way, but you know, the original pattern, I don't know what the original marketing pictures were for that pattern. Maybe the red dress that's on their site is the original. And if that's the case, it's really obvious to see why that pattern took off, because it is really cute. It looks really cute on her. But there's a whole heck of a lot of skinny privilege happening in that thing. The sleeves are too tight. Oh, that's interesting because they don't look tight. They're too big. That's the one we were just fitting Eliza's on. There's a lot of, interesting things. It's, tattoo interfacing of this too. Yeah, I'd never really looked at it. I think it's really cute. And like when I saw Eliza's shirt, I wouldn't even known that was it. It looked totally different. This isn't wide enough for this piece, but I'm using it anyway. Oh yeah, so do you feel like you need more? We can continue to fit that if you want. The one thing we were talking about is that I didn't really get a good understanding of where the armhole was on that garment on you, because the sleeve was so big, like so wide and short, that I couldn't tell where it was hitting you on where your armhole was hitting you on your body, not the sleeve. I could only see the sleeve. Yeah, it definitely looks like a chameleon pattern, right? Like I feel like it could you wouldn't know it. I was kind of surprised when I looked it up yesterday. I was like, oh, that doesn't even look like the same shirt that Eliza made. It's really cute. Doesn't that mean sky? Cielo. Okay. This is perfect width for 2 of those. I don't really need this pattern piece anymore. I don't know why I'm doing this. Oh, we need to applique some selvage though, right? So we'll put this here. Yeah, that's no problem, Eliza. If you ever want to revisit it. We need interfacing for this, and we need one for this. Did I get everything? I feel like I'm missing the button band. Yeah, I am. We've been taking our sweet time. Well, I have been. There we go. I think these are the fronts. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, that just takes redrafting the pattern, you know, for a different size group. You made it 5 times? Ooh. Giving the Gilbert a run for its money. Poor Elena. She's like, I'm tired of y'all thinking I only do Gilberts. My pronunciation is perfect. Gracias. Okay, we need the button band here. So, you know, I told myself before we started streaming that I was going to try and block fuse a little bit. And look where we are. We went down the selvage rabbit hole instead. Oh yeah, I bet the drapey would be really cool. I love these long, narrow pieces. I keep these. Well, they are so useful. You can use them on like shoulders and stuff like that. Okay. We have the front. I've been kind of messy with my bin today. But we're making a little pile of things we're gonna iron. And we just need to do these 2 here. Gosh, I feel like hair cutting is like such a classic. I want to look like this. I used to do that. Like I used to do a lot of client sewing, and that is a very common thing. You know, it was rare to get a client that understood, like, I'm like, I could make that dress for you. I cannot make you look like the person wearing it, but I can make this dress fit you and it'll look great. But you are not going to be that person. And that's a very hard thing to visualize sometimes, you know? There's also a lot of hairdressers, Julie, that cannot do the cut you give them, even if, like even when it's simple. So I'm always like, wait a minute, this isn't what I asked for. I'm not trying to look like that person. I just wanted a bob or whatever. All right, so we got this. I had my thin roll out here, but nothing was narrow enough for that. Oh, your biceps are being strangled. Oh. Terry. Man, that must have been satisfying to say. I used to sew for this woman. I was friends with her daughter. I'm still friends with her daughter. And she was from Singapore and visited Singapore very often and would bring back these gorgeous fabrics. And she always wanted the exact same dress out of them. It was so fun. It was one of the ways I financed being able to move to live on a farm, because I had a full-time job, but that was just paying my bills. And so on the side, I would pick up like sewing gigs like that. And I was so thankful for them. And I would just put the money directly in like a box under my bed, because, you know, cash and checks. I don't even think I cashed her checks, which is so insensitive to her accounting now that I think back on it. And then cashed them all right before I moved to Colorado. All right, so let's see. We have all of this to interface. He was feisty as heck, and I love it. He was brutally honest. It's hard to convince them. I can't imagine. Oh. Clothing is just, you know, so fascinating. I think, like, I've been doing this long enough to know how people have looked down upon me for doing this. You know, like, you know, there's the kid in your high school class that goes off to be a doctor and you go off to fashion school, that kind of thing, right? Totally understandable on one level. You know, like, I understand, like, yeah, I went to fashion school. I wasn't even trying to say that I was any more special or more important or smarter, right, by doing that. But some people make you feel less for doing stuff like that. But the number of times that I've seen how sewing has worked for things in my life that weren't even clothing related, or how we've used fabrics and garments to save lives in the military, or medical stuff in like your heart, you know, like creating Gore-Tex flaps for your heart, or, you know, in textiles, how they have changed things, or the, you know, just, I don't know, it's, and how when we're studying history, we look at clothing as an indicator. It's really fascinating. I've never been embarrassed about what I do. Because guess what? Everybody wants you to sew for them. The doctor wears clothes too. Right, Shem? Yeah, the mesh for surgeries. Yeah, like, I mean, that's really not sewing. I shouldn't lay claim to that, right? That's definitely the fabric and textile science world. That is not an ancient skill, right? That is definitely a chemical based. Textile majors become chemists, you know, so very different. But seeing how, you know, like, just fashion has affected history and history has affected fashion is really, really cool. And yeah, doctors need clothes too. And look at all of us, you know, sewing masks during the great panini. Yeah, oh, you can sew my, no, you can kiss my. It's so expensive, Julie, really? Maybe you have an equivalent that's not so expensive. See, I've been a little too distracted to sort my bin today. I wouldn't usually keep the, you know, flap. Maybe we should do buttons and buttonholes on this one and not snaps. You know what I'd rather do, though? Okay, let's do this. I feel like that doesn't look very straight. I think my dream now would be could I get a job at a video game company that has something to do with clothes? But honestly, clothes and video games, they do a pretty darn good job. They don't need my help. Boop. All right, what do we got left? Just these button plackets. I feel like I'm missing something. I did the collar, right? I think so. What? Wait, what did you say, Shim? It was funny how so many people could make masks, but somehow so many would claim to know how to sew. Oh, yeah. I feel like my reaction when I had my, you know, I was live streaming during that, right? So a lot of YouTube people blew up because of the panini. They, you know, their channels grew because people were at home watching videos, right? And I had the opposite reaction. I felt like a little bit like this feels kind of weird to be like, hello, fa la 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 la, let's sew something, when people were like, you know, fighting for their lives. And so I didn't really do my channel like that. We did stuff though. We did the ideal bag, remember? We all drafted that together. You know what I just noticed about this fabric at a brief glance? Just want to look at it this way, look at it this way. I feel like when I look at it a certain way, it might have an up and down, which might be tragic for one of my sleeves, I think. Night, Fiona. Sounds good. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Sewing bee. Bye, sewing bee people. See you tomorrow. Think of us poor Americans. Think of us poor law-abiding Americans who aren't stealing. No, I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing because I'm jealous that you all figured it out because I haven't. See you, Raquel. All right, we're pretty much done anyway. Let's just get the bin in order. All right, we've got our fronts. And we're going to do our pockets right off the bat. I found the pocket pattern piece. There's the hello. We literally just ironed those pockets. Where'd they go? Oh, you just did? Oh, man. Okay, here's our back. We know this is the top color. I'm just going to keep these pieces because there are, for some reason, drill holes, and I don't know why yet. Here's my under collar. Let's keep all our collar together. Let's find our yoke and our sleeves. So there's our cuffs. This is the loop, right? So we'll put this with the yoke. And here's the pocket. This little mess. We didn't get the pocket ironed. It did not just iron those. Okay, so we need to do that. Here's our sleeves. Sleeve. Oh my gosh, here it is. This looked like trash to me. Okay, sleeve. Cuffs. We don't have a placket, which is weird. It's kind of cool. Shem asked you a question, Terry. I'll play telephone. This is the hanging loop, right? Okay. I don't need this back. That's right there. And then let's go and iron the pocket really quick. I'll iron this too. We might applique this to the top of the pocket. Or, I don't know about applique. I don't like using that word because I'm not going to zigzag it on. And I think of that as being zigzag. I know that's not the only way to applique though. Okay. Okay, we're going to do this first, then this, then our collar. I'm going to fold this a little differently here, like this, so it's a little smaller. And you are going to be a little smaller, like this, and then the collar, then the sleeves. There we go. We have our pattern. And I guess not all my pattern envelopes are, oh, here's one. I have a stack of them in the next room. So I'll start sewing tomorrow and we'll finish on Saturday. I'm gonna try and do flat felled seams, and I was thinking that I might do a contrast white stitch thread. Did I do that recently though on something for him? I don't think so, right? Okay, this is all just scrap over there. Right, yeah, and this is the only bit of fabric I have left, so, whew. That was close. There we go. Yeah, so I think maybe I'll do a contrast white thread. What did I just do that on though? Let me look at my past videos. I can kind of tell. Then maybe, didn't I? The cargos were both in the same thread, but not quite contrast. What did I sew the tropical shirt in? I did the little camper vans, the fluffy knit, like not knit, but the cream color stuff. Yeah, the contrast ripstop, but that wasn't white, right? I just did the same thread as both of those. Bye, Anthony. Have a good one. What was the tropical shirt that I sewed? I'm just going to look real quick. I just want to make sure, because I could just match it. Oh my gosh. I can't skip my own ads. Let's see. I just want to see what I'm sewing on here. Oh, this was the camper van. Shoot, I can't. Oh, the plaid. Okay. We're good. Yeah. Okay. It was the plaid one. That was the other one. The Winslow's. Okay, yeah. We haven't done anything. And then maybe I'm thinking of a cashmerette. Franconia. That one. Rattle. Elmwood. Okay, we're good. I'm going to do a white top stitch then. I think that would look really nice with this. You know, I love that look. It will kind of pick up the selvage contrast too. I think that would be fun. So anyway, all right, we're ready to go. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Start sewing. We'll do some flat felled seams and some nice details. Yeah, exactly, Terry. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. And I think I'm going to do the loop on the back yoke. What do you think, Terry? I think that's it. I don't think there's a pleat in the back. There's no pleat in the back. No pleats in the cuffs. No pleat at the center back yoke. Probably good. I switched the grain line on the yoke to give it a little more give. So yeah, cool. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.